Hello, BookTube. All right, I've got a couple of miscellaneous notes for you here. Just things I want to jot down before I forget them and to keep you up to date. The first one has to do with our plan for the year of 2020 to consort with lonely trollops. We have decided, out of the kindness of our heart here on this channel, to consort with lonely trollops throughout the year of 2020. And by that I mean Trollope's novels, Anthony Trollope novels that are not part of series, standalone Trollope novels. And I had originally proposed to do Mr. Scarborough's Family for the month of March because it's a hoot of a story. So it's not off-putting, it's not somber like He Knew He Was Right, and it's also not gigantic. So it works as a nice invitation to our year of consorting with lonely trollops. And then I thought two things. One, you don't need a nice introduction. You've got me. What more of an introduction do you need? We have a ton of fun going through Trollope novels, and it's not that much to ask. These are great books. They're tremendously entertaining. Last year, when we were reading individual Trollope novels, how many times did I get emails from the lot of you saying, I'm absolutely loving this Trollope novel. His narrative voice is so nice. It's so smart and funny and friendly, and the plots that he's cooking up, they're just wonderful to follow. I heard the note many times from many of you saying the one problem I have with all of this is that it makes the other fiction that I read look sick by comparison. More than a dozen of you went from, for instance, I think it was The Prime Minister, to the next book you had on hold at the library, which was a work of contemporary fiction. How many times did I hear in emails last year? Boy, I'm starting to see what you say about contemporary fiction. When you read it back to back with Trollope, it looks terrible. Undercooked, thin, non-committal. So you have me. And that ought to be invitation enough. But also the second thing that I thought is that March is the March of the Mammoths. The BookTube event that's in its second year. Jason at Old Blues Chapter and Verse created the March of the Mammoths, and he and Lukash and Alex are doing that throughout the month of March, where you are challenged to read a book of more than 800 pages. And it seemed to me that those two things would go together better if we swapped around Trollope novels and start with his longest novel and also, in my opinion, his best novel. And that is The Way We Live Now, which in the Oxford edition comes out at, oh no, oh you're kidding me. The Oxford edition retains the original pagination. It retains the original pagination. How incredibly annoying. This was originally done in multiple volumes, like Victorian novels were. So when you get to the end of this enormous book, you're on page 480. No, I don't think so. So, all right. So one volume here is 480 pages long, and then the previous one is 480 pages long. Okay, so this is well over 800 pages in the Oxford mass market. I'm sure that the Dover paperback, the Penguin, if they make one, I'm sure that any of them are well over 800 pages. And I would love to start off our year of consorting with lonely trollops by starting with this one. The only worry that I would have would be similar to the one I just described, which is that a lot of Trollope seems downhill after you read this book. But that is note number one. I would like to sort of suggest, I would like to put forward that I would like to start our year of Trollope standalone novels with The Way We Live Now, instead of Mr. Scarborough's Family. We'll do that in April. And that is note number one. Just a minor rearranging of the deck chairs for the year of consorting with lonely trollops is that we'll do the really big one first to coincide with March of the Mammoths, so that if you were on the fence about whether or not you would manage a mammoth, well, now you have an easily manageable mammoth. I defy you not to love this book. That is also part of another read-along. And also keep in mind they're both part of Alan Moreton's challenge all throughout 2020 of reading chunksters for charity, of setting aside $20, $30, $40, $50 for every chunkster, every book over 800 pages that you read, and donating that money to Book Aid International. And he has all the details on his channel. But that's note number one. And then note number two is not connected to it in any way, but I thought I would consult with all of you, because you know, God knows how many talents are out there. I am an editor at an online literary journal called Open Letters Review. It is the inheritor of the new iteration of Open Letters Monthly that ran for 10 years. And we do new reviews almost every day. If you're familiar with the journal, then you will know that there are a few booktubers who write either regularly or sometimes or all the time for Open Letters Review. We have an IRSS feed, and we have people who visit. My whole theory, my whole philosophy for Open Letters Review has been that I want to care less about whether or not people come to the site and more about whether or not myself and writers, other writers, put their pieces in the way of where people are. So if you have a new review at Open Letters Review, if you're writing a review for Open Letters Review and it's new, feel free to tell people on your social media platforms with a link. That my idea for Open Letters Review was that rather than be a destination, it would be a destination, but it would be us who would direct the traffic. So if I have a new review, I would make sure to post it on Goodreads. With a link back to the full review. I would make sure to post a notice of it on Twitter or on Facebook or wherever you are on social media. And I would hope that other writers would do the same. And I like how that works. I think that is the right approach. But there is something else that I want. I just thought about it the other day and realized that I could put the call out and see. I would, in addition to doing that, I would also like an app. I would like an Open Letters Review app that is essentially, I'm not exactly sure how these things work. I'm sure that will come as no surprise to you, but that is essentially a reflection, a window, a conduit to the RSS feed. So the app is regularly updated when the site is updated. So that if you have the Open Letters Review app on your phone, when you hit it, you will see the newest stuff. And so you can just have it there as opposed to anything else. It's just a tiny little thing, but I'm interested in doing it. And despite the fact that I've been reading children's books on how to code, I do not know how to make an app. I have no idea. But I suspect that some of you do. So I wanted to put the question out there. In addition to rearranging the deck chairs for the trollop year, I also want to put the call out for any of you who might know how to make an app. A very simple app. Doesn't have to have any bells or whistles at all. Of course, it has to be free. To an app for Open Letters Review that reflects the newest content on Open Letters Review. I had somebody make an app for Open Letters Monthly years and years and years ago that was a delight. Absolute delight to use. And I'd like to do the same thing again for Open Letters Review. And I am offering to pay you. Not money, of course, because it's a free online journal. But if you make a beautiful app for Open Letters Review, something that works really well, that looks really well, something that people can carry around on their phones and on their tablets, then I will recompense you with one book a month for 10 years. So one book every month for 10 years. Does that sound fair? I was going to do for your whole life, but I might not be around for your whole life. Let me know. If you know how to make an app, if it's a fairly easy thing for you to do, let me know. My email is going to be down in the information as always, or you can just sound off in the comments field. Because I would like to do that. In 2020, I would like us to have an app. I don't know how much of a difference it will make to the philosophy that I mentioned. I'm thinking that the philosophy of Open Letters Review should be that we go to you. We let you know. But an app might be handy. And I absolutely wouldn't want you to commit to doing it if it's hard for you to do. But if you are the type of person, the guy that made the Open Letters Monthly app did it in an hour. It's not a complex thing that I'm asking in terms of apps. It's not a complex kind of app. So if you know how to do that and you're interested, let me know. I'm happy to flood you with books. So there you go. There was two little details: a trollop rearrangement and an app. And I'm going to wrap this up before it gets any longer. So I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.